Good afternoon, members and supporters of South Bunbury Football Club. I have the privilege this afternoon to be here with Syd Jackson, the great Syd Jackson, living legend. So before we start, I'll just give a few stats about Syd's career. Syd Jackson played 34 league games and kicked 25 goals for South Bunbury between 1960 and 1962. Syd debuted for South Bunbury in 1960, aged 16, in round 6 against Kerry Park at Capel Oval and kicked 1 goal. He played 15 league games for South Bunbury in 1961. He played 18 league games for South Bunbury in 1962. And Syd won the 1961 Hayward Medal at 17 and the 1962 Hayward Medal at 18. Between 1963 and 1967, Syd played 104 games and kicked at 78 goals for East Perth. He tied for the 1963 Sandover Medal, although he was ineligible due to suspension. And in 1966, he was named East Perth's best and fairest. Syd then moved to Melbourne and played with Carlton. He kicked 165 goals in 136 league games between 1969 and 1976, and he won 2 VFL Grand Finals, 1970 and 1972 with Carlton. And Syd played for Geelong for 1 year in 1977, where he played 13 games and kicked 21 goals. And that's just some of the highlights of Syd's career, which is absolutely amazing, and all came about from South Bunbury. So, welcome, Syd. It's an absolute pleasure and privilege to be here talking to you.
Yeah, you too. It sounds unbelievable after all this time that we've come back and talk about these sort of subjects, and where I started my football and where I am today. So it's great to be here talking to you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's an absolute pleasure for me to be here, Syd, talking to you. A living legend of so many clubs, South Bunbury, East Perth and Carlton. So we'll go back to where it all started, Syd. How did you start to play footy for South Bunbury all those years ago?
Well, we always played footy, not so much for a club, but when I was living here, where I am right now, Roelands, what it was called then, the Roelands Native Mission, which is now the Roelands Village, and goodness gracious, I'm still here. It's a beautiful place. We've taken it over and running it as for all sorts of programs and visitors to come out and have a holiday here. So I'm still here.
Yeah, and so going back to that early time, you're obviously playing out here at the mission, and you came to play for South. How did that come about?
Oh, we had one football here with about 20 kids, and you had to try and get a get a kick. I mean, and I think that's started our hunger for the ball and our bit of skills in trying to get a kick with 20 kids in one football. So I think that's where it's all started, and I think that I was working as a carpenter joiner in town for a firm called J.M. Best.
Yep. Who
was a president of the South Bunbury Football Club, and that's where it all started. He invited me to play for the club, and I ended up playing for South Bunbury for quite a few years, winning the Hayward Medal in those days? Yeah,
the Hayward Medal, yeah.
So that's where I began my football.
Yeah, and in the introduction, as I said, you were 17 and 18, your first 2 years of football, league football, and you won the Hayward Medal at 17 and 18. So you obviously had a bit of ability even in those early days, Syd.
Yeah, I mean it's all started here, as I said, and the skill levels, and then that was polished up by going to South Bunbury, then East Perth, and on to Carlton. So I had a good grounding there,
Yeah.
And it started me off pretty well.
Yeah.
So it helped enormously.
Yep. And in those early days when you were playing at South Bunbury in the league and you won the two Hayward medals, any early memories from those days from your playing career that stand out for you? Obviously winning the Hayward medals.
Yeah. Oh no, I just remember some of the great players I played with that backed me up a lot. You had to be reasonably good to play amongst a group like that. They were very slick players, very good players.
Yeah.
And so that got me going, and to actually play there, you had to be pretty good, or working with the team pretty well. So that ended up okay in the end.
Yeah. And so how did you go? Obviously you had a very successful career at South Bunbury. How did you end up at East Perth? How did that come about?
I think there was a match between the two teams, and I think a bloke called Hex Tremple was the secretary at the time.
Yeah.
Said we'd like this bloke to come and play with us, so that's how it started. So I ended up going to East Perth.
Yeah, you moved to the big city of East Perth.
East Perth, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And once again, you had an amazing career at East Perth, playing all those games and kicking all those goals. And then obviously from there, sorry I cut you off.
East Perth, no. East Perth, well, some of my idols played there, and like, my idols, the great Polly Farmer, Ted Kilmurray, and players like that. So, it was great that I followed in their footsteps, and I was very grateful for that, because I played in a team that they played in. So
yeah,
it was great for me.
Yeah, yeah, and those couple of names you mentioned there went on and obviously were legends in their own right, but and you obviously are as well. So you had great company there by the sounds of it.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah. So and you had some good memories from East Perth.
Yeah, had some good players that I played with. Phil Teeney and all those guys. The big bad Mel Brown and
you played with Mel Brown, did you?
Mel Brown,
yeah. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
I was glad he was on our side anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was interesting. He was a controversial sort of a player, but I was glad he was in our team anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's that infamous game when East Perth played Carlton, and Mel Brown had a bit of a moment with some of the Carlton players at one stage there.
Mel was always a showman anyway, and I think that he wanted to get into a bit of controversy with the players and the teams. He was a showman, so that's what he did.
Yeah, and people like that are good for football, aren't they?
Good for football.
Yeah. Good for football. Yeah. So moving on then from East Perth, you've got the call to go to Carlton, and once again, how did that come about? That next step, the big step.
Through a legacy game we played against Carlton, and Ron Barassi was the coach then at the time, and asked me if I'd like to go to Carlton. So I said yeah, and that's how it all happened. Yeah,
yeah. And was it true that Ron Barassi was actually staying at Ernie Meniere's, Dr. Meniere's place, and you were living with Dr. Meniere there, and Ron Barassi was staying in your same bedroom, and was able to have a talk to you about going over and playing football over there.
Yeah, I think he was hoping I wouldn't get away from him somehow, and he just sort of kept an eye on me. But yeah, he stayed in my room, and stayed for a couple of days until we got things settled, and and that was the story of the beginning of going to Carlton. Yeah, yeah.
And how did you find the transition? Obviously, you came from the mission here, went to South Bunbury, then to East Perth, and each of those steps was playing next level football. How did you find the big city of Melbourne and that next level of playing at the VFL?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah. It didn't bother me at all. The more the crowd, the better for me, and it seemed to spur me on a little bit. And Had good grounding over here for a start, and
Yep.
with South Bunbury and East Perth, and then to Carlton. So, and Brassey was a very good coach.
Yep.
Although his roar was loud in his bark, but you know, didn't frighten me at all, really.
Yeah.
So I just took him as the coach. And,
Yep.
and you know, I did my job pretty well, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And so you touched on Barassi having some of those times with the players where he would really get in the face of the players, and so you just took that on board, part of the deal.
Yeah, I did. But there's one situation I remember that was, I think I won the game for Carlton anyway. I said to him, Brassey was on about endeavour, all in his preamble before the game, and I kept thinking about Captain Cook and the Endeavour. So
Yeah.
And at half time, Brassey said, goodness gracious, Brassey brought it up. He said, it's Endeavour, it's like Captain Cook in the Endeavour. And I said, yeah, I know him, Brassey's the master of the Peninsular Land Office.
Yeah.
All the players started laughing, and then Brassey had a bit of a grin, and I think I won the game anyway for the team, because I got them all loosened up and they all had a laugh, and I think that's because of that we won the game, I think.
Oh well, great memory, great memory, and it was good that you got Barassi to smile.
Yeah, it was a hard thing to do, but he did have a laugh, and the next day we were in the papers with Brass there, and my with Captain Cook's hat on and all that sort of stuff on the back page.
Yeah. And obviously with Carlton, you had those two VFL Grand Finals with Carlton. They must have been memorable games for you.
Yeah, they were. 1970 was probably the best. The biggest crowd too, I think, 121,000 people.
Yes.
669, I think.
Yeah.
And the Prime Minister Menzies was there as well.
Yeah.
That day he was the #1 ticket holder. So had so many people in there that they were actually, a lot of them were climbed up the trees and sitting in branches of the trees and standing on the fence line and all that type of things, standing up on the fences.
Yeah.
Even outside the ground. So there was a huge crowd for a country game.
Yeah, was that the grand final where you came back after half time? You were well down after in half time?
Yeah, 1970.
1970, yeah. And I think that was one of Barassi's famous sprays that got you going, and you got to beat Collingwood, I think, from memory.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. What a great memory for you to have.
It is, yeah, and I often think of it. You never forget it anyway, but when you talk football, it always seems to come up.
Yeah. So over your career, you've obviously been coached by some wonderful coaches and played with some wonderful players, and probably came in contact with a lot of people throughout Australia, famous people.
Yep.
Any people that sort of left their mark on you now that you think back and gee, they left a mark, whether it was a coach, a player, or someone you've met?
Most of the coaches did. I mean, it started from Kevin Murray in the first place. He's a great Fitzroy player.
Yeah.
A medalist. And on to Sheedy. Then on to Ron Barassi. So three very good coaches.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Sheedy, was he involved in the Australian rules game that you went to Ireland and played?
Yeah.
So that's where you came across the influence of Kevin Sheedy? Yeah. So, well, just touching on that was sort of a different sort of hybrid game that you went and played in Ireland.
Yeah, not only that, we went and played in Ireland. We actually had to learn the Irish game here, and it was a bit hard.
Yeah.
There was no sort of, it was just hitting the ball mainly, and and soccering
Yeah.
the damn thing. So we had to get used to doing that before we went over there. So yeah, then we went to the display of our game we were invited by the Australian Embassy to Romania
Oh, wow.
to play an exhibition game there.
Yeah. Well, that would have been something from left field. Romania playing a game of Australian rules footy or a hybrid game.
Yeah.
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 Well, we thought, well, what do they know about this game? So
Yeah.
anyway, it was worth it, and it was a great trip, and I think people loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seeing something, a spectacle like that,
Yeah.
which they'd never seen before.
Yeah. And we're talking about your overseas trip. I believe there was an issue with your passport. Trying to get hold of a passport to go on the international flights and go overseas.
Yeah, well, I didn't have one, so we had to apply to the Australian Embassy to get one, and then actually that actually gave me a birth date and all that type of thing, where I was actually born. So I was born to Leonora outside of Kalgoorlie, and my age came up in that, and so
Yeah.
it was quite strange. It was funny at the time, but you never know exactly whether those dates were quite right, but it was roundabout. So it was okay.
So that they picked a date and that was it. But I believe, once again, it might be an urban myth or the like, but the Prime Minister of Australia just happened to be in Bunbury at the time, and Dr. Ernie Manier, went and saw him and said, I need to get a passport for Syd Jackson to go on a trip, and the next day you had it.
Yeah, I remember him saying, "Oh, bloody red tape! We'll get it done."
Yeah, so, in a day.
Went to the top level.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't get any higher than that.
No.
So, Syd, coming up in May is this Doug Nicholls round, which touches on the contribution Indigenous players had in the Australian rules football game. And I just want to point out and ask you how you felt in 2021 in the Sir Doug Nicholls round. You were the honorary ambassador, was none other than Syd Jackson. I mean, what an honour for that, for you, to recognise your achievements and what you did, not just for the Indigenous players, but all players, but in particular with the Sir Doug Nicholls round. That accolade, that must make you feel so proud.
It does, yeah. Inspiration that Doug Nicholls gave through his leadership in the church area, and his football ability as well. He's pretty fast as a rover.
So you remember him?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I remember him very well.
Yeah.
Did a lot for our community.
Yes.
Fitzroy was his club.
Yeah.
So he was a great man and a good church man too as well. Did a lot of church work for our community and in general as well. So.
Yeah. And for yourself personally to be named as the honoree for that round in 2021, that must have been feel really special for you.
Great honour, and I don't know who thought of that, but it's a great honour, and I accept it with gratitude, that one.
Yeah. Well, when I delved into your career, Syd, there's just so much that you've achieved and done over your career. It's just amazing. And Korea, is there anything else before we move on? You'd like to touch on any standout memories that we haven't touched on that you like the members of the South Bunbury Football Club and supporters of the South Bunbury Football Club?
No. I think that I'm just grateful that football gave me this opportunity, career, and all the 3 clubs that I played with that supported me in that situation, and the members. You know, I thank them all for that. So I've had a good time with it.
Yeah, well, you've obviously left a legacy, not only here, Syd, but at East Perth and Carlton. And I believe they're talking about putting a statue up for you, and you're recognising you and your career and what you've done for football here at Hands Oval. So how's that sit with you to know that that's in the background happening now?
It's sensational. It's a great honour, unexpected, of course, and it's great that they saw fit to do that for me. So I'll be forever grateful about that.
Yeah, and we'll
Thanks very much, yeah.
we'll be forever grateful for what you've done for football and the person you are today, and how you continuing here at the Roelands Village and helping the young Indigenous boys and others try and make their mark and use football as a platform for their own. I'm working pretty hard with the kids out here and trying to give them the opportunity that I had. So everything's going pretty well at the moment. Oh, that's awesome, and thank you so much, Syd, for sharing your story. You are inspiration for the next generation of young footballers that are coming through, both male and female, from any ethnic background that play our great game. And you are an absolute beacon of light for people, and where they can actually achieve their highest goals. So
great, thanks.
It's been an absolute pleasure to have this talk with you today, Syd. Thank you so much.
Pleasure for me as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
To all our members and supporters out there, we'd like you to subscribe to YouTube or Spotify. It's called Tiger Raw Talk, and it's important. There's so much history of our club that a lot of us don't know. We've got great legends that take their time to tell us about our club, and we'd love you to make sure that you don't miss out on all that history. So make sure you log in to YouTube or Spotify, Tiger Raw Talk. Thank you.
And make sure you like it and give us any comments and feedback, because we'd like to keep this going and keep supporting and generating interest in this great club of ours.